This conference will now be recorded.
So, good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the demo session of LoadRunner tool by Isha Training Solutions. And my name is Krushik. I have around 12 plus years of experience in IT, specifically into automation and performance testing and engineering. So, I will be your trainer for this batch, LoadRunner batch. So as part of today's demo session, we will be going through the points mentioned that you are able to see on the screen now. So can any one of you just confirm that you are able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So we will, for today's demo, we will see these points. Like first thing is what is performance testing and its importance, and then we'll see recording simple flow using Vusion. In a sense, like we'll record some simple steps and see how the script is getting generated, what exactly we have to find out. Yeah, and then we'll see the LoadRunner architecture, because this particular course is all about LoadRunner, right? So on a high level, we will see what is this LoadRunner architecture as well, what are the different components that will be part of LoadRunner architecture. And after that, we'll see the course content, the entire course content, and then followed by the question and answers, if any. So to begin with, generally, what is a performance testing, right? So, sorry, I request you guys to go on mute. Yeah, thank you. I will unmute every one of you, after the discussion for Q&A session. In between, if you have any questions, I request you to post your question on chat. I will continuously monitor the chat as well. So after the complete discussion, we'll discuss about the question and answers again. Okay. So what is this performance testing? Okay. So how it is different from the other types, like functional testing or automation testing we have, right? So what is this performance testing all about? So basically, let's take an example. Take any bank application, right? So if you see the screen here, so okay, so if you see the screen here, let's take a bank application. Okay, and this bank application will be used by many users, right? Or many customers might be accessing the bank application. And what is the time, what is the max, at what point of time this application will be used, mostly during the day. So let's say that most of the people access this bank application around 10 a.m. in the morning, right? So from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., let's say that most number of users are accessing the bank application. So as a performance tester, from the performance testing perspective, our main goal is to see how this application is behaving, when most number of, or when large number of users are accessing this application. Okay, so if you see user 1, user 2, user 3, so on till 100. Okay, so that means let's say that 100 people are accessing the bank application around 10 a.m. in the morning. Now performance testing is all about determining the application behavior. Okay, how this application is behaving when large number of users are accessing this bank application. Okay, so how the application is behaving, what is its performance? Okay, which is it slow, is it responding slow, or is it responding real fast? So how it is performing, what is the behavior of an application? So as a performance tester, our main goal is to determine the application behavior. Okay, when large number of users access the application simultaneously. So that is where the performance tester is more interested. Okay, when you see any other application, like for example, let's say so let's say that you have some application. Okay, so let's say that you have some sample application, something like this. Now what is performance testing what is the performance tester more interested in this? Okay, let's take a small example. Now, if I enter some username and password here, okay, if I enter some username and password here and I click on login. So when you click on login, automatically you are seeing the home page here, right? But if you see a functional testing or automation testing or or a manual tester, what they exactly do is they validate the content here. They verify whether the user is able to navigate to this page successfully or not. Okay, once you enter username and password, it will be navigated to this page. Okay, so the manual tester or functional tester is more interested about validating the functionality, verifying the functionality, whether the user is successfully logged in or not. But as a performance tester, we are not, we are more interested about how fast the user has navigated to this page. As soon as I enter some username and password, how fast the application is routed to the home page. Okay, how fast the user is navigated to the home page. Okay, that is what the performance tester is more interested. Okay, and we have to see the application performance. Okay, for every page, let's say this page, this application has like 7 or 8 pages. Then we have to ensure that the user is able to navigate through all the pages. Okay, within some timeline, like 2 seconds or 3 seconds, depending on the project requirement. Okay, so there is a slight difference between the normal functional testing and the performance testing. We are more interested in knowing how fast the page is loading, how fast the application is behaving, responding, how fast the application is responding, how fast the pages are loading. If you click on a button, how fast I'm navigating to next page. Okay, if you click on a link, how fast the page is loading. Okay, this is where the performance testing is, performance tester is more interested. Okay, so it is a little bit different from the functional testing as well. Okay, so now what we will do is, and generally, we all know the importance of it also, right? Because as I said, we are validating how fast the application is responding. At the same time, the importance is we have to understand the importance of performance testing also. In a sense, like any application developed after developing, they cannot directly deploy into production. That means they cannot directly give it to users. Okay, especially when the application is used by the end customers. Okay, for example, if you see a bank application, let's take any bank application. After developing, they will not directly give it to us, like for using. They will have to do the performance testing, and then only they will have to deploy into live. Otherwise, what will happen? The functionality might work fine. That means the user enters username and password, and he will navigate to the home page. But let's assume that after entering username and password, he is taking 1 minute to navigate to home page. Okay, not only bank application, take any application. For example, you are using Facebook. So if you're in your laptop browser, so you launched the Facebook, you entered username and password, you clicked on sign in button, and then it navigated to your home page after 1 minute. Is it okay for you? No, right? So why will customer wait for 1 minute to to see the home page? Okay, so there is he'll not be interested in that, or he'll be disappointed with the performance. Okay, and if there is any other alternative similar application, he will shift to it. Okay, he will shift to it. Okay, for example, if Gmail is responding very slowly and I'm not able to see the emails on time, then what will I do? I'll create one more Yahoo email ID. So like that, it depends on the customer also. Okay, so it's very important that whatever the application that the client is building, its performance should be fine. The application should respond fast. Okay, and the client should be satisfied. Then only it can sustain in the market. Okay, and at the same time, the other reason why performance testing is very important is, for example, if you see small examples I'll give. Sometimes what will happen, these big e-commerce applications like Amazon or some Flipkart or whatever it is, they give some offers, like they say that big sale is going on, or a big billion day is going on, something like that. So they'll give that, like, like this month, 25th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. is a big sale going on. So what will happen on 10 a.m. on 25th? So in general days, 1,000 people will access Amazon or any e-commerce website. I'm just giving some example. On 25th, instead of 1,000, 10,000 people will access. That means the number of users accessing the application will be 10 times more or 20 times more. Okay, and then if you do not handle the performance of the application, it's gone. Then that big billion day or big sale, will be will not be completed properly, right? If the application crashes, what happens? Like, we have seen so many things, right? If you see the some of the applications being launched, and at the same time more number of people accessing the application and the application getting crashed. Okay, we have seen such instances, right? And if you remember, there was some you know there was some website which was launching that Game of Thrones season 7. So when it was about to release the Game of Thrones season 7, it almost didn't respond, because the more number of people access that website than expected. So what happened? The application didn't respond, and it was not responding properly, and users had to face so many problems. Okay, we see so many issues like that. Now, if you see any train booking websites or something like that, sometimes what will happen? More number of people access the website, and at the same time, if application is not able to handle those number of users, it will not respond, or it will crash, or it will respond slowly. There might be so many things happening. So from the client perspective, he has to take care of the application performance. So any application coming to you end users directly must be performance tested before it gets deployed into production, or before it goes live. Okay, that is the importance of performance testing. Okay, so without as I said, without performance testing, most of the end user applications will not go live. Okay, so every company, every application must be performance tested, at least the end user applications. Okay, so what is why we do performance testing generally? To determine the behavior of an application when large number of users access the application simultaneously. Okay, at a time when many people are accessing the application, how my application is responding, whether it is crashing, whether it is responding slow, whether it is working fine. I have to determine, as a performance tester, I have to analyze that. Okay, now we understood on a high level what is performance testing and importance. Now, to analyze or to determine the application behavior, there are many tools in the market. You might know that. Okay, and LoadRunner is one of the big tool, or an important tool, or which has major share in the market, and it's been there since ages. And it's a proven tool, and most of the companies or big MNCs, especially banking and financial institutions, they go for LoadRunner. Okay, reasons might be many, but they use LoadRunner tools mostly. Okay, so now from the LoadRunner perspective, we will discuss the architecture first. Okay, and then we will record the simple flow using one of the component, and I will explain you clearly. Okay, so what are the different steps and all those things. So what is LoadRunner architecture? Because as I said, there are so many tools in the market. No, because we are dealing with LoadRunner, I'll explain you LoadRunner architecture now. Okay, so I'll quickly go to this slide, and from this slide, what I'll do is, instead of explaining you the LoadRunner components directly, what I'll do is I will derive the architecture out of some questions. Okay, so let's say that there is a bank application, okay, or any application. Let's take bank website. Now, I am the client, or someone else is client, or they ask me, someone else is client, and they ask me to test the bank application. Okay, and they asked me to test the bank application with 1,000 users. Okay, they said, like, okay, test my application with 1,000 users and tell me how it is performing. Now, as a performance tester, I cannot bring 1,000 people and allocate 1,000 laptops to them and ask them to log in or access bank application simultaneously and tell me the performance. I cannot do that, right? So okay, let's say that 1,000 people I can do. I can bring, I can allocate laptops, and I can ask them to access the application and perform different actions and help us in analyzing. But what if I have to test with 5,000 users? I cannot bring 5,000 people, right? And I cannot ask them to test it. I cannot allocate, give them laptops, set it, and ask them to log in or access the application simultaneously, right? So there should be some component which should help us in generating those virtual users for us. Okay, that component is called load generator. Within the LoadRunner architecture, there is a component called load generator, which will help us in generating the virtual users. Now, what these virtual users will do, they will do, they will mimic the human, they will mimic the normal human, they perform the similar actions on that application. Okay, and this component is responsible for generating those virtual users. And load generator, these are nothing but some highly configured machines. Okay, when I say component, those are also machines only. So those are highly configured, like in terms of RAM, in terms of memory, like highly configured machines. So using these load generator machines, we will simulate virtual users. Instead of bringing the real users and asking them to test, we will generate those virtual users using this component called load generator. Okay, now we have users. Now whatever the client says, 5,000 users, 1,000 users, 100 users, we have the load generators. Now what is that we have to test? Now let's say that take a bank application. Now within that bank application, what is that I have to test as part of performance? Now within a bank application, there might be different scenarios. Like one user will download a bank statement, one user will transfer money, one user will pay credit card bill, right? So all these scenarios, we have to develop scripts. We have to develop scripts, and then we can run. Okay, for developing these scripts, for these flows, okay, we need a component. That component is called Vusion. Vusion is one of the components which will help us in developing scripts. Okay, it will it uses a record and playback methodology. So I will explain you in some time about that Vusion component. Okay, I'll show a simple example of how we do recording and how we generate script and run. Okay, so we have load generator, which will simulate users for us. Okay, now you see we have load generator which will simulate users for us. Now we have Vusion, which will help us in developing scripts. Okay, now when we have the scripts ready, we need some component to run the scripts, right? So that component is called controller or performance center. Okay, that component is called controller or performance center. Now this component is responsible for executing these scripts. Whatever the scripts we develop using this component, that will be uploaded into controller or performance center, and then we will execute scripts. Okay, we'll execute scripts. Now we have users, we have scripts, we have execution component. Now when the execution is done, we need some component which should help us in analyzing the results. Okay, so there is a component called analysis. Now this component is will help us in analyzing the results. So whatever the execution we are doing using this controller or performance center, those results we can analyze using this analysis component. This analysis component will give us various metrics, different graphs, okay, different so much of information. And using this particular component, we can provide our observations to client. Okay, when we execute the performance test, what we should do as a performance tester or engineer, we have to provide our observations to client. Hey, with this number of users, let's say 1,000 users, with 1,000 number of users, your application is behaving fine. Okay, all the transactions are well and good and responding fast. Okay, something like that. We have to provide all our detailed observations. So we'll discuss that again in our upcoming sessions about what are those detailed observations we have to provide. Now I'm sure you might have understood this, these four components which are part of LoadRunner architecture. So load generator is used for generating or simulating virtual users. Vusion is used for developing scripts. Controller is used for execution. Analysis is a component which is used for analysis and providing our observations by looking at various graphs and metrics. and so much of information will be provided, right? On a high level, this is all about the LoadRunner architecture. Okay, so if anyone is if anyone is working on LoadRunner, so you will have these components involved, and there might be some interview questions also coming from this LoadRunner architecture concept, which we will discuss in our upcoming sessions. What are the different interview questions that they will ask from this concept? Okay, so that is the importance of our course. Okay, I'll tell you one small example by interrupting this session. So actually, we have two interview sessions actually. For any course, for every batch, we have two interview sessions. But in the last batch, what happened? We assumed that we can complete in 2 days, but it lasted for 1 week. For 5 days continuously, we discussed about interview questions. Okay, so that was very much helpful for all the students, and they were able to crack the interview as well. Okay, I'm not restricting. I'm not saying that I'll take only 2 sessions for interviews, but it depends on how we interact. How many questions you ask. Okay, or how much time it will take for me to explain. It all depends on that. But for every concept, whatever we discuss, we'll discuss interview questions in detail. Okay, so and then now we understood this architecture concept as well. Okay, so now we'll quickly. What I'll do is I will just record a simple flow. See, this component is used for developing scripts. I told you, right? So we will launch this component called Vusion, and we will record a simple flow like launch, login, and logout. Okay, we launch and we log in and then log out, and then we'll see how the script is getting generated. Okay, so we'll quickly launch the component called Vusion. Okay, so go here and type Vusion. Okay, so this is a virtual user generator. Yes, I'll take the questions. In the meantime, it's getting launched. I'll take the questions quickly. Execution from Vusion possible? Yes, it is possible, but we can only execute for one user. Okay, we cannot run with multiple users using Vusion. Okay, we can execute with single user. Yes, Hari, we can execute with single user from Vusion. We cannot execute with multiple users. Okay, so that's the thing. So let's take that. This is the home page after launching Vusion. Now go to File and select New Script and Solution, and then you will see this particular window where it says Create a New Script. Here we have to select the protocol. What protocol we are using. So we will select Web HTTP HTML protocol. Okay, I'll explain you everything in detail again. So for now, what I'm doing is I'm selecting one protocol called Web HTTP HTML, and then we will give the script name. Okay, what is the script name we have to give? Let's create a new folder quickly. Okay, so where should I? So here, let's create a quick for 9 p.m. _ let's say August. Okay, so I created one folder, and then okay, so I'll create a script call. I'll name the script as demo. Okay, because we are just creating a demo script, right? I'll say demo, and I'll ignore the solution name and solution target for now. The script is located in this path, and the script name is demo. The protocol we have selected is Web HTTP HTML protocol. Okay, and I'm clicking on create. As soon as I click on create, a new script will be created. A new script will be created. Okay, and on the left hand side, you can see this is the solution explorer, where we have all the files and the actions, okay, related to our script. And here in the middle, okay, this is the blank white screen, the white window. What you are seeing is the script page where you see the script. Okay, where you develop the script, where you see the recorded script, where you can enhance your script by adding all your logics. Okay, and then there is a menu bar option where we have different options, which we'll see in our upcoming sessions. So what we will do now is we have some sample application. Okay, we have some sample application like given by Micro Focus only. It's called as web tools. So what I'll do is I'll record 3 simple steps. First is launch, second is login, and third is logout. 3 steps I will record, and then I will stop recording, and then we will see how the script is generated, and then we will execute the script as well. Okay, so first thing is there is a icon over here, which is marked with some red color dotted. Then it is used for starting the recording. That button is used to start the recording. So now just click on it. Okay, when you click on it, you'll get this window. You'll get this window. So for this, the first option you can ignore for time being. Okay, we'll discuss in our upcoming sessions. It's a different concept. And then you see here, it says which browser, using which browser you want to record. Using which browser you want to record. There are different browsers available. Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome. You can add browsers also. Okay, no problem. Then I've selected Internet Explorer, and then here you have to give your application URL. What is that application you want to record? What is the application that you want to record? Okay, and then for time being, you click on Start Recording. You click on Start Recording. All the other options we'll discuss in our upcoming sessions. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll click on Start Recording. Okay, and it says that there is some Internet Explorer opened, so it needs to be closed. If I click on OK, it will automatically close. However, I can close it from here as well, and then click on OK. So as soon as I click on Start Recording, we will see this mobile window here. See this mobile window here, and you will see the Internet Explorer being launched with the URL what I have provided. Okay. See, when I clicked on Start Recording, we are seeing a mobile window here. At the same time, the application is launched in the Internet Explorer browser. Right, that's the browser which we have selected, and the URL also I have given there. Okay, and this is a mobile window. Now here in this mobile window, you will see some number which keeps on increasing here. Okay, that number, if it keeps on increasing, don't worry. Actually, it's a good sign for us that it says this particular Vusion tool or component or LoadRunner, say directly LoadRunner. This LoadRunner tool is able to record your application successfully. That means it is able to capture the traffic successfully. Okay, so whatever the actions we are going to perform now on that application, it will record everything successfully. Okay, so now what I'll do is, there is one more option here. Okay, this option is to start or end a transaction. So why it is important is, so we perform so many actions, right, on an application. Let's say we launched this application now, and we will do login, and then we'll do logout. Okay, now if I want to know how much time it is taking for login, if I want to know how much time it is taking for login and logout. Okay, how much time it is taking for login and logout, if I want to know. Now, before performing any action for login, you have to start one transaction. Okay, by clicking this icon here. Now click on it. Okay, click on it. One second. Okay, click on it, and then give the transaction name. I will say transaction name as login. Okay, now I'll start this transaction, and then automatically you will see one more button enabled which says end transaction. Now don't click it. What you have to do is, when you start the transaction, you have to perform that action there. Okay, I started the transaction for login. Now what I'll do is, I'll enter some username and password and click on login button. As soon as I clicked on login button, I navigated to home page. Okay, navigated to home page successfully. Now I will end this transaction because I want to capture how much time it is taking for login. So what I have to do is, I have to start a transaction, then perform the action on the application, and then end the transaction. This is a sequence. Okay, now end the transaction. Now login is successful. Now what is the next transaction I have to do? Logout. So before starting logout, I have to start the before clicking on sign off, I have to start the transaction for logout. So start the transaction for logout. Write logout here, name it, and then click on OK, and then click on sign off button. Click on sign off button. Now your application is logged out. Your application is logged out. Then close the browser. Close the browser and end the transaction. End the transaction. At the same time, you stop recording. There is an option here, stop recording. As soon as you stop recording, it will generate our script. Now what is the script content? We have recorded login and logout. Both the transactions we have recorded. Okay, now if you see this particular action, this is the code that it generated. How many lines? 50 lines of code it generated. Okay, 50 lines of code is generated. Now I'll tell you one small trick how to analyze the code quickly. Now, while recording, you have given some start transaction and end transaction. See here, line number 18. It says LR start transaction login. That means your login code is beginning here. It is starting here. And you see at line number 37, LR end transaction login. That means your transaction is ending here. Now, whatever the code that is there inside start and end transaction, that code belongs to login. That code belongs to login. Okay, that is a small technique, you can quickly understand. Now scroll down slowly, and you see at line number 41 it says start transaction logout, and at line number 53 it says end transaction logout. Now whatever is there between start and end transaction of logout, that code belongs to logout. That code belongs to logout. Okay, so this is how you quickly analyze the what code is for which transaction at a high level. Okay, now what I will do is I will quickly run this script. Okay, I will quickly run this script by making small change, okay, which we haven't discussed. Okay, then I will run this script. Okay, now the script is ready. So before running the script, I'll just make sure that log is available. Okay, so it's yeah. So now what you have to do is just run this script. 1 second. Okay, now run this script. I'm just running this script. Whatever we recorded for login and logout, I'm running the script. Okay, I made little changes for settings, okay, which we'll discuss in our upcoming sessions. And then now you see what is getting recorded and what we are capturing. I will explain you. See here. Now it clearly says login is passed and logout is passed, and it took 0.23 seconds to login, and it took 0.235 seconds to logout. 0.232 seconds for login and 0.235 seconds for logout. So as a performance tester, I am more interested in knowing this particular data. This is the first basic data which we have to see, analyze. What is the response time? How fast the login is happening? How fast the logout is happening? What is its response time? Okay, so as a performance tester, I'm more interested in knowing this particular content. Okay, this particular data. Okay, there are some other metrics which we have to analyze, but as the first thing, what we have to see is this one. How fast the application is responding, in the sense how fast the login is working, how fast the logout is working. Okay, so this particular duration or response time is very important to us. Okay, now you might say, like, is there any max limit that it should not exceed, something like that? Yes. So in general industry standard, every transaction, okay, it could be login, it could be logout, or if you click on a button, when it goes to next page, if you click on a link, if it goes to next page, it should navigate in 2 seconds. Okay, it should navigate in 2 seconds. Okay, ideally if you click on a link, it should navigate to next page in 2 seconds. That is the standard, but there are some exceptions. It depends on project. Some projects might accept 3 seconds or 5 seconds depending on their project architecture and requirement. Okay, so as a performance tester, now let's say if it is exceeding 2 seconds, I'll say, oh, there is some issue, then we have to see why it is taking more than 2 seconds, something like that. Okay, that's more in detail, we'll discuss in our upcoming sessions. But I'm sure you might have understood what is performance tester more interested about, right? You understood, right? What is performance tester more interested about, what exactly is looking for, right? So this is all about the performance testing and the architecture, and this particular component, especially the Vusion, which is used for developing the scripts. Now this script, actually I can run 100 times also. 100 users can run the same script, okay, and see how the application is behaving. Now when I run this script, that means only one user is running. Whatever the results we are seeing, that is only for one user. This number what we are seeing now here, that is for one user only. Now we can test the same script with 100 users, 1000 users, 5000 users, okay, and see how much time login is taking, how much time logout is taking, like what is the response time of login, what is the response time of logout, we can analyze. So that is the actual work what we do. That's the first thing what we have to check. Okay, so now quickly, without wasting any time, I will go through the now hope you understood this, Vusion component, at least like how to record, what to see after running the script and all at a high level. Now I'll quickly go to the course content, and at the same time, after that, I'll take the questions, okay, in next 5 minutes. So this is the course content, okay, and the duration of this course is actually 1 month, probably 25 working days, but it can extend. And the last batch extended 1 week, more than the expected, actually more than the normal batch, because there were more number of interview questions being discussed and more number of questions, something like that, it extended. So by default it will be 1 month course, and it can extend also. Okay, so the begin with the course content, we'll begin with architecture basics, performance testing, life cycle, what are its components, okay, what are its features of LoadRunner, all these things we'll discuss. And then moving on to the next slide, best scripting practices in Vusion. What do you mean by that? Now, whatever we recorded here, there is some script generated. So what are the best scripting practices? Okay, what are the different features available? What are the different options available? Okay, how to develop your script effectively, in a best way. Okay, in a simple way and a best way. Okay, so all these concepts we'll discuss, and there are some runtime setting options. Okay, how you want your script to run, based on what settings, on which browser you want to run. Okay, something like that. So there are different settings available. So we'll discuss all those things as well. And there are different concepts like HTML based versus URL based recording and checkpoints. Okay, so checkpoints is nothing but we have to validate the content also. When you click on a button, when it navigates to next page, at the same time, when you are verifying the performance, at the same time you'll also validate whether you are navigating to the correct page, right? So you have to navigate to the correct page, and then at the same time you have to verify the performance, right? So for that purpose, checkpoints is used. Okay, and then we have something called introduction to C language. Now most of you might have a question like, how much coding is required for this? How much coding is required for this? Okay, now as I said, you can record and replay your script with little bit of enhancement. Like you can tweak the code little bit, and you can run the script a number of times. So you need to learn very basics of C language, so which includes these variables, data types, if statements, loops and conditions, functions. Okay, that's it, not more than this. If you learn these concepts, it will be sufficient. Now you can we will be covering like 3 or 4 sessions for this C language. Okay, so that you will master, you will know how to enhance your script, and how to make sure that your script is running, for 100 users or 5,000 users effectively, right? So that's the important. So how much coding is required? Very little, guys. So don't get confused like, hey, we have included this C language in this course, now should we learn full C language coding? No, I know that we all were afraid of this C language in our college days, but we don't learn that much actually. It's very basics. Every person, including non-IT guys, including the guys coming from non-IT, can learn this in 3 days. Okay, I have so many students who learned this tool very quickly, like how the guys coming from IT, right? So they cope up very quickly and they learned very fast, and they mastered the tool in no time. Okay, so it's very easy, guys. Now don't think much about C language or coding here. Okay, so we will learn everything in the simplest way. Okay, and then comes this C language functions, inbuilt functions. What we have, we need to enhance our scripts, right? So by default we'll learn this, and this is what I added, like advanced C language. When I say advanced, again, there is not much coding. It's a simple thing, like how we read notepad data, how to read data from notepad, how to write data to notepad file, something like that. Okay, which are rarely used, but it should be, it is good to learn those concepts as well. So that's why we have added these concepts. And what are the different challenges we face in scripting? So all these things we will learn in our course. Okay, and this is one of the interview questions also. It's a direct question which I added here. So when you go to any interview, and if you say that I have worked on LoadRunner tool for 1 year or 2 years, they will ask you, definitely they might ask you like, what are the different challenges you faced while scripting or while developing the script? Okay, so those things also we will learn. At the same time, there is one concept called correlation, which is very important from performance testing course perspective, at least from the LoadRunner tool perspective. So we will discuss for one whole week about this concept. Okay, 5 days at least we will discuss about this important concept. Okay, and then we have something called parameterization, because we need to have test data. Like if I'm running the test with 100 users, I need to have some test data, right? So for that test data, we discuss this concept called parameterization. Okay, and then here the concept of viewgen, the component viewgen task or learning will be completed after this parameterization, and then we will see controller, how to execute scripts from controller, what are the different ways to execute, what are the different scenarios we can create. Okay, and how to monitor the execution. Okay, what are the different options we have while execution. So all those things we'll see, okay, from controller. Okay, and then we have monitoring graphs, and then we'll see the analysis component. Like I said, it will give us so much data, like various metrics, different graphs, right, for providing our observations to client, right? So we'll discuss all these things as part of analysis component. Okay, how to generate reports, how to identify issues. Here in performance testing, we say issues as bottlenecks. Okay, when I say bottlenecks, it means issue only. Okay, some issue in the performance, with the performance we call it as bottleneck. So going forward in the entire course, I might use this term bottleneck. Okay, I can use issue, we can use issue also, but let's just start discussing about the real-time terminologies. Okay, and then we have I will explain you clearly about analyzing results and providing observations. Okay, and interview questions also we will provide, and we will give answers to them. At the same time, we will discuss in detail about the interview questions. At the same time, when I say providing observations, after executing we have to provide observations. I will explain you in depth about providing observations. When I say in depth, I'll help you in drafting an email also. Like when you execute the test, you have to give your test results, right? So I'll help you how to draft an email. What are the different points you have to mention? So at that level, I will help you. Okay, we'll discuss about everything in providing observations. And the bonus topics after completing this course is, for this is I will explain you a tool called Fiddler, and how to generate a har file, how to script using har file. Okay, that point we'll discuss. And along with that, we'll discuss about APM tools. Okay, the application monitoring tools, which are very important nowadays. For every performance tester should learn at least one of the APM tool, like AppDynamics or Dynatrace, right? You might have heard these tools. It's very important for us to learn at least one. So as part of this, what I added is, at least my students should know what is this AppDynamics tool or what is this APM tool, and what are the different metrics we capture from the AppDynamics tool. Okay, I will explain you that. I'll show you. I'll take a session on that. What are the different metrics? What we have to capture from the APM tool while the test is going on or after the test. Okay, and then we have now whatever the course we are learning, that is for UI applications, right? That is for UI applications. Okay, we will practice on UI applications, and we will learn scripting, execution, and all those things. At the same time, if you see some of the projects in real time are web services. They are not completely UI. So what we did is, we will give you additional web services recordings as well. Okay, so go through those recordings for web services, and definitely it will help you a lot. Okay, so that is as part that is as part of the course as well. So with this, I hope that all of you are now familiar with the course content as well. Now I'll stop here and take all of your questions. Like it could be any question, not only it's not only related to LoadRunner or whatever it is. Whatever doubts you have or whatever questions you have, please ask me now. Anyways, I'll take questions from chat also. Okay, so okay, how can you perform scenario wise execution? So we have to deal with controller, if you have to execute scenarios. you have to execute from controller. Okay, controller or performance center, both are same. Don't get confused if I say controller or performance center, both are same. That means the options are same. Same options are there in controller and performance center. Controller is nothing but a standalone component. Like, when you install, it will come like, a standalone component, like how we launched Vusion, right? In the same way, controller also will come. But performance center is also same with same options. But only thing is, it comes with a kind of URL, like, we have to browse the URL and we have to log in and we have to work on the same options. As part of our course, we will work on the controller. Okay.
So we can, yeah, my doubt is we can use anyone, right? Whether controller or performance center. So it is not mandatory to use both tools.
See, it is not mandatory in sense whatever is being used in your project, company project, use that. So, if you are a performance tester, maybe we may not tell them like, we'll use controller or performance center, but mostly if the team is big and if the project is big, they will use performance center. Okay. So that, options are same. The only thing is you have to log into, they'll give URL, you have to log in, and the options are same. Whatever the options are in controller, the options are same in performance center.
Okay.
And then I'll going through all of your questions. We can be able to validate paste text. Yes, we can be able to validate paste text. We have a concept here, right? Somewhere we have seen checkpoints. See here, checkpoints. So checkpoints is used to validate the page content, page text or image or whatever it is. Okay. So how can we know expected response time? See, expected response time, project client will give. So when I say project client, either the product owner or project client or business analyst will give us the expected response time. They will say that all the transactions, or let's say that login, logout, all these are called as transactions. Whatever we perform, right, actions, these are called transactions here. So these transactions, they will say that, hey, it should not exceed 2 seconds. They will say it should not exceed 3 seconds, something like that. Okay. So then based on that, we have to provide our observations. Okay, well, Vusion is difference between Vusion and Performance Center. Vusion is for scripting, only scripting. That's it. And the Performance Center is executing with multiple users. Okay, so whatever the actions we are performing in Vusion, we'll be able to perform. See, Vusion is only for scripting. So from Performance Center, whatever the scripts we develop using Vusion, we will be able to execute in Performance Center. Okay, course duration, as I said, it is 1 month, but it can extend for sure. Okay, so if you want at the end, like, like if you say that, hey, we want everything to complete in one month only, if all of you are okay, I can take weekend sessions also, so that I can cover max I know all the concepts. Price, please reach out to Kumar sir or Anita ma'am. Like, there is a WhatsApp group, right? Please ping Kumar sir or Anita ma'am. They will let you know the price. Okay. So price details and all you can check with them. Anyways, your name is Hari, right? Okay. I will inform Kumar sir to check with you regarding the price. Okay. I'll ask Anita ma'am or Kumar sir to ping you for price. Okay. You can contact them. Okay. So any questions? Like, I was expecting some questions from you.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, what is the difference between LoadRunner and the Jmeter?
See, every tool has its own pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages. But let me tell you, I'll explain in this way. LoadRunner has support, or LoadRunner supports various protocols. For example, if you go to this script, okay, and if you say new script, here you are able to see these details here. So all these are protocols. All these are different protocols. Protocol is nothing but some rules or some communication mechanism between from one component to another component in the backend. Okay, so the applications are built using various protocols. Okay, they might be built, but most of the web applications, like most of the web applications, like what we are seeing, like HTTP, HTTPS, are built on web protocol only. Web HTTP, HTML protocol only. Okay, so that's the reason we are covering this as part of the course, because If you see all the web applications, everything is web now. Everything is UI based, right? So web based. So that's why we are covering web HTTP HTML protocol. At the same time, as I told you, we will also provide you the web services recording session.
Sir, can
Okay.
we
And
develop the script?
let
Can we develop the script by using REST services?
Yeah, you can develop the script. Yeah, you can develop the script using REST services. Okay, so the question, I mean, probably I didn't answer completely to the question, like the previous question. What difference between LoadRunner or Jmeter? Like, see, both are good tools only, but LoadRunner has support for less. Jmeter has support for less number of protocols when compared to LoadRunner. LoadRunner is the only tool in the market which has support for more number of protocols. Okay, like that is one thing. And second thing, it is component from Micro Focus. It is a tool from Micro Focus. Okay, and then when it is a tool from Micro Focus, the companies using LoadRunner tool will definitely have a complete support from the Micro Focus team. Okay, everything is bundled into one tool. Everything is bundled into one tool, and we will have a continuous support from LoadRunner team. And and the companies, especially in terms of banking and financial institutions, where they give more importance to security, they prefer LoadRunner. They prefer LoadRunner because they want a tool which is more secure. Okay, if you see Jmeter, it's open source tool, right? It's open source tool, right? And anyone can use it, and and it supports less number of protocols. Okay, so especially big MNCs, especially with banking and financial institutions, are still using LoadRunner as their primary tool for performance testing because of more number of protocol support, more security, continuous support. Okay, if anything is not working, just we'll contact Micro Focus team, they will help us. But what if it's a tool like Jmeter? We have to depend on forums, like open source forums. We have to see what is the solution for this. If it's not working, what should be done? All those things will be there. Okay, like as I said, every tool has its own advantages and disadvantages. Okay, like but the thing is, LoadRunner is licensed. Companies will buy this tool from Micro Focus and use it, whereas Jmeter is open source and free. Anyone can, you and I can download, and you can use it directly. Okay, so that is one major difference. Okay, as I can tell you, when I compare with LoadRunner and Jmeter. Okay, but nowadays both are having good market in the good share in the market. Okay, there are other tools apart from LoadRunner and Jmeter like NeoLoad, okay, Locust, and different tools are there. But the thing is, major share in the market is for LoadRunner and Jmeter only. That's what at least I can say that.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions? Any other questions? Which version are you going to teach? I will be explaining scripting on in 12.6. Okay, 12.6 version we will be using. Any other questions?
Yeah, sir. Actually, we can integrate like a LoadRunner with Selenium.
See, we can execute. LoadRunner can be integrated with Selenium, UFT. Okay, no problem. We can use. But at the same time, it can be integrated with APM tools like AppDynamics, Dynatrace, and DevOps tools like Jenkins. Okay, so all these tools we can integrate with LoadRunner. Okay, in fact, there is one more option is there. Whatever the scripts you develop in Jmeter, you can run in LoadRunner also, in controller. In our controller and our performance center, you can run Jmeter scripts also.
Okay.
So it is so much powerful tool.
In top menu, I can see version control. So it is we can use GitHub also, right?
Yes, GitHub. Say GitHub is more about versioning tool. Like it can it is yeah. So any tool can be integrated with GitHub. Like we can save our code in the GitHub. Like saving our code is the only task we do with GitHub. and from that GitHub, Jenkins will pick the latest code and run the job. So that's how it works. So I'll explain you that as well. Actually, I did not add it here in the course content, but we discussed that concept as well in the in the ongoing batch. That how the Jenkins and the GitHub, in a sense, I explained like at a high level, like how it works actually in our projects. So where we will save the code in GitHub. So if we have to integrate with the Jenkins, so what is the possibility? Because there is a big debate going on currently with that we cannot there is the scope of performance testing using automated jobs through Jenkins is very limited. So it's a big discussion going on. So however, we will also discuss those concepts and we will see what is the possibilities, what are the topics that are still going on, what is the work that is still going on in that space.
Okay. We have any repository to maintain this generated script from LoadRunner?
For this course?
No. Just generally asking. Any repositories there to maintain the script?
Yeah. So basically, default the projects which are using Micro Focus LoadRunner, they prefer ALM. That means quality center. If you know quality center or ALM, they prefer that tool to save the scripts. Okay. And nowadays they launched the recently they launched the enterprise LoadRunner Enterprise, where we don't need ALM directly. We can save it in the enterprise locations as well. So I will explain you that, like how it works and all.
Okay.
Okay. So any other questions, guys?
Hello, sir. As you said, you are going to tell about the C language for the LoadRunner as well. So can we use any other language rather than C?
We can use JavaScript, but the thing is, more than 95% of the projects, or in fact, I can say 99% of the projects currently being used implement C language, because C language, people or the members or the guys are using C language support since so many years. Now, for example, if there are let's say that if there are 10 members in your project and 9 members are already working since last 5-6 years in C language. Now, if you go to that project and if you want to develop using JavaScript, you can develop. But the problem is, if you develop the script in JavaScript, okay, and after 2 months you move to some other project, then the other person will not be able to enhance or update your script or understand your script because he doesn't know JavaScript. So that's the reason they constantly follow or implement C language with LoadRunner. So, and it has so much of support in forums also. For every issue that we face, we have answers. Like we have ready answers. Like in various forums, and we have so much of support. And it's proven that C language is very much stable when we are working with LoadRunner. Okay. So guys, if you want to use JavaScript in your projects, you can use. But for this course, we are explaining C language because more than 99% of the projects are currently not currently. It's been there since ages. Actually, everyone we work with C language only for LoadRunner. Okay. So any other questions? Which price I told you. What else? Okay. So any other questions, guys? Quickly.
No, sir.
So as I said, it will be an interesting course, like 1 month, more than a month. So you can learn and master this tool, and then you can take it from there. So guys who are coming from, one point I want to add, like nowadays, no, not now, in the all the previous batches, we have seen few members joining from non-IT background. So, and for them, I take a couple of sessions additionally to make them comfortable with the IT terminologies and the terms which I use. Okay, I explain them slowly, and I take some additional sessions and I explain them slowly, and I'll make them practice this tool, and I'll make them master this tool along with the IT guys. Okay, so why I'm explaining you this, in the recent batches we have seen few members joining from non-IT background, and they excelled this course. They mastered this course in no time actually. So because I take some additional care, and I take some additional sessions and help them in understanding the tool and the concepts and the terms that we use and in IT, and especially with performance testing. Okay, I'm not sure how many of you are from IT and how many are from non-IT, or how many are from functional testing, or how many of you are from automation and wants to start your career in performance. But whoever is coming from non-IT background, when they are joining, when they join this course, please do let me know, so that I can take some additional sessions. Others can also join. It doesn't mean that others should not join, but if they are interested, they can join. But the thing I want to tell you is I will take more sessions or a couple of additional sessions, or until they understand the complete terminology. Okay, so any other questions?
Sir, the classes will be only on weekdays or weekends as well?
No, only weekdays. Saturday, Sunday, no classes. Weekly five classes, Monday to Friday, evening, Indian time 9 to 10, and US time, I'll ping you. I don't know exactly which time zone, so I'll ping you
So,
the US time also.
so if we miss in a class, so can we get any recorded class as well, sir?
Yes, a good question actually. So every day the sessions will be recorded and will be shared to you by end of the day. For example, today 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. We have a batch, right? So by tomorrow morning or afternoon, you will definitely get the recorded session.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So
Thank you.
yeah, you can access it for lifetime. Any day you can go and access it.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So if there are no more questions, so I'll stop recording here. I'll wait for another 10 seconds or 15 seconds. Okay. So thank you guys. I'll just stop recording.